Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Legion video. Today we're going to be talking about some sweet data mining, specifically having a run over some of the new sets we'll be getting. Why not gameplay? Well, despite many things pointing to the beta releasing a day or two ago, it's just not been a thing. Now they do have a build uploaded to the beta servers, we just don't have any accounts being flagged. From that build, we've been able to see some really good stuff, so today I'm going to be going through the armor models and giving you my thoughts on them. Of course, this stuff is all early, work in progress stuff. Not everything's finished, though it definitely gives us a pretty good look. First, we have some really awesome looking male armor. It's very cool dragon themed. Just look at the shoulders on this set. Like, wow, I'm really impressed with this overall set. I also think it's very interesting that they're using tattoos as the chest piece for this. And now, considering how the normal chests in the game are just flat textures, this isn't really anything new in terms of tech. I just think it's nice and it fits with some of the very cool theme stuff. And now I've got to imagine there's going to be some really good transmog options, especially with the shoulders. I think we have seen other elements of this set before, but the shoulders feel pretty new, and I'm excited to see what potential there could be with those. Next, we move on to something that is decidedly very boring and average. It's a questing bit of male armor, apparently. I don't really care, I think it's pretty dull looking, honestly. And after that, we've got something which I think looks really awesome, but perhaps not on a human. I love the way this sort of frames his face in a way that makes it look kind of silly, but at least, it's a very unique looking set, and there are lots of unique looking slots on it as well. I think the helm's a bit outlandish, which is good. Actually, I appreciate something a little bit more crazy looking, but the real star of the show is the shoulders, the hands, the belt, and the bottom of the chest, like that kind of, I don't know what the word is, like the bit that's going over his thighs. Maybe my brain's just breaking at the minute. I really like it. I think there's just a lot of good contrast and well-defined lines, probably just indicative of them getting better at drawing things, honestly, but there's something about this overall which looks really satisfying to me. I can't wait to see what people are able to do with the black and grey variant as well. Do you like man nipples? Because if you do, this next set is for you. This is a male set that is odd in that it doesn't really reflect the current male wearing classes at all, and it does a brilliant job of framing the old nips. It almost looks kind of roguish as well, which is a little bit bizarre. Again, I like the contrast and the well-defined lines and parts of it, and I think the shoulders are really cool. They've got these like pretty badass skulls on them. Overall though, I'm not really super into this set. Now that we've covered the male stuff, let's go over the plates. So the first set is a pretty simple, very cool themed one from the dungeons. It's pretty solid overall. I mean, it's kind of similar to some of the Warlords of Draenor stuff we got from leveling and LFR, so it's just less interesting to me currently because of that. But overall, yeah, it's solid, I suppose. Now next we've got something that I think is far more cool. This is apparently endgame gear, which makes sense given how it looks. Again, there's some rich colors here, which I really do like, and I think it works in terms of being a kind of traditional fantasy bit of plate armor. So is it the most exciting, crazy thing ever? No, but I think it's pretty solid overall. Not going to blow anyone away, but I do like it. Next, we've got an oddly impressive set. It's very unique. It's listed as honor gear on MMO Champion, which is odd considering its appearance. It looks like something that would be raid gear or conquest gear. Now, I do like the way that this gear is kind of crazy and colorful. The people who are into green sets will probably get a lot out of the green version, and it adds another fiery set into the repertoire that's currently in the game, which is probably a good thing. Now, the shoulders are particularly stand out. They're pretty crazy looking, and I do like that they seem to have an animated effect. As for the rest of the set, again, I really like it, especially with the more colorful variants. There's just this contrast, there's color, there's something to look at, it catches the eye. Overall, yeah, I think it's actually really nice. Next up, we've got another plate set that's really quite run-of-the-mill. I don't know, most of the variants of this are pretty boring to me, but at least the contrast in the red or the gold and black one stands out. It actually looks similar, or some of this stuff looks similar to the tier 18 warrior gear. Overall though, it's not doing too much for me really. It's just a bit average looking. And then after that we have another very cool themed set, which I do like. I absolutely do like these very cool sets, don't get me wrong, it's just I find it really hard to be excited by them, since in Warlords of Draenor we had in the leveling and stuff like that, a few sets which kind of reminded me of this vibe in a way, so it's a bit less exciting to see it now. I do absolutely like it though, and I think it will look really good on people's characters. Anyway, let's get leathery, starting with this set that's absolutely fucking brilliant. I really like this. Now I do wonder why someone, who's got like, fur lining and all of the gear is leaving their arms uncovered. That's not going to be cozy at all, but still, I really, really do like this set. It's got a very warm feel and a decently chunky feel as well, and I mean chunky not in terms of like hulking plate, plate mail or something. No, it just looks really, really cozy, like there's a rug inside it, which I like. It doesn't feel super roguey, like in a stealthy sense, so I'm not really sure who this is going to look the best on. But this is actually one of my favorite of the sets that we've seen. There's something about it that's just very satisfying looking. Now, I've got to wonder if the chest and legs are supposed to be made out of boiled leather. With the current art style, sometimes it's maybe a bit hard to tell the difference there. And also, this is apparently dungeon armor. Moving on from that, we've got a set which just doesn't look that good to me. Honestly, it doesn't look finished. I mean, it kind of does look finished, but it just doesn't look like it's got that finishing touch that brings the whole thing together, as if it's maybe not shaded well or just something like that. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not really an artist at all, but it just looks like it's lacking something. What is notable though is that the belt is a utility belt. We saw some of that go on with the tier 18 gear, so that's continuing, and I suppose it was pretty cool in the HFC tier, so it's still pretty cool now. And after that, we've got another set which, again, feels similarly unpolished. I'm not an artist, so I can't put my finger on it, but it's just pretty meh looking, honestly. Now, it also could be that, some stuff's not getting rendered right, or, whatever, a million problems that could be going on with this not actually being seen in a live build of the game, and, being data mined and maybe texture issues, who knows. It just isn't doing anything for me, though. Next, we've got another leather piece. Now, this is clearly not finished because the shoulders are missing, but just, man, look at those, look at the boots, the hands, and the helm. I think they're pretty savage looking, and definitely something that I like a lot. I can see it going down really well with a few transmog sets, especially those hands and feet, which have got very strong sort of color, accents on them. That could be very useful for the transmog people, and overall, I can just imagine these, once they're fully kitted out, being really, really cool looking sets. Now this next set is strange. It is listed as leather, but it looks like cloth to me. A bit strange. Now this is one of the most impressive sets that I've seen in a long time. No joke, this is bloody brilliant. I think it looks just wonderful. Again, I do like all the different color variations, though you can see that the coloring isn't really matching up because there's a purple head on the grey and the green version of the gear. But overall, it looks really rich and really regal, and then also a little bit evil because of what's going on with the shoulders. There's a lot of flavor and a lot of character to the design of this particular set, which is really strong. I'm just wondering if this is leather, who the hell's going to wear it, I suppose. But still, it's great to have that model in the game. This next leather set is also apparently from the Legion Dungeons, and wow, again, I am super impressed. Feels a little bit more roguey in terms of some of the lines that are going on, I think, anyway, but again, I really like this. And what is fun is how they seem to be trying to do different things with helms these days. They don't always hit the mark, but I think it's certainly a pretty good goal to be working towards for them. Overall, really, really nice set. I like all the different color variants, but I'd say the one that I'm the most happy with is the blue one. Of course, Demon Hunters are going to be wearing leather armor, so let's look at the Demon Hunter stuff that we've seen. So, do remember that when these are seen in characters, first of all, they'll be either Night Elves or Blood Elves, and second, they will have big, chest tattoos and stuff like that going on, which will fill out the color palette a little bit. So, if you look at this variant here, it looks weird because it's just a default human male with no tattoos. So the coloring will work a lot better on an actual Demon Hunter. What I will say, though, is I really like these. The skull on the shoulders is particularly cool. And the variant of this I like the most is the one with the black and the gold. I just feel like there's more contrast there. There's more to draw the eye. So it's definitely the stronger bit of gear. And I think that, in combination with some glowing green tattoos, would look really, really impressive. This next set looks a little bit more built up and hard to get. And for some reason, I'm not 100% keen on it. I think there might be a little bit too much going on. What is for sure is that the shoulder and belt are brilliant looking, but part of the chest is a little bit dull. Again though, hopefully the tattoos will come to the rescue there. I do like the bottom of the helm as well. I think that's really cool, but the top of the helm kind of ruins it for me. The Demon Hunter eye band things should be enough. I don't really think we need these like bizarre floating things in front of their eyes. That maybe looks a little bit silly. Anyway, next it's cloth time, starting off with some very cool themed gear. It's based around rune magic, so it's not really going to look the same as, say, a traditional mage set. I like how it's offering something different, though I don't think this is going to be the best overall fit for most of the cloth classes, plus it kind of looks like leather armor. Moving on from that though, we've got a really cool set. This isn't finished yet by the looks of things, but once again I'm very happy so far. There's a really nice flow going on with the lines, which I like. I think some glowy effects on the disc that's floating behind the character's head would look really good here. I do wonder though if that disc is going to be in the helm slot. I assume it is, and if that is the case, then this will be a great addition to the transmog system. Now this next one it's a bit more battle mage looking, I guess, and I can see some people not really liking it, but I think it's great. One criticism is that there might be a little bit too much visual noise at the top in comparison to the bottom, making it look a bit unbalanced, but overall I think this is great. The helm is going to be brilliant for transmogs, and I think the shoulders will offer some good options as well. The black variant is particularly appealing to me, though. I like anything that looks kind of black and, evil green. That can be really satisfying. Overall, though, I actually like that set a lot. And finally, we hop over to our final Datamined set. This one looks really nice. I think it's definitely got a very interesting silhouette in that there's the strong shoulders. There's something about this that almost feels vanilla-esque. I mean, hell, it could be referencing a vanilla set and it just might be going right over my head. It's mostly vibrant as well, which I like, and I especially am a fan of the red and gold one. Again, rich colors and contrast is generally something I like a lot in gear. It's definitely good seeing that here. I guess, yeah, I do have a bias against stuff that's just washed out looking. So overall, I think we're definitely seeing some really cool sets here, but I've got one final thing to show you. So the Legion press kit came out at BlizzCon, and it contains 2 bits of gear for the Warlocks and the Rogues, and this stuff is bloody cool. First of all, we've got the Warlock Tier 19 Mythic. Wow, just look at this set, it's so fucking cool. You've got those Fel Orbs, which are really cool looking. Nice bit of color as well, got some brightness to them. And then look at that helm, really unique feeling, looks particularly evil, which is obviously a good thing for a Warlock. And I think this is going to look brilliant with the Affliction artifact weapon. The Elite PvP variant of it is pretty much the same, but with a red theme. Again, I think it looks great. It's maybe more suited to a Destro Warlock without green fire. And the red helm is also particularly evil looking, which is always a good thing. And next we've got Rogues. This Tier 19 Rogue Mythic set might be one of my favorite Rogue sets yet. It's really cool. Oddly enough, if you stand back far enough, it looks kind of like the Crisis Nano suit. But overall though, it's got a very roguey feel in that it's properly dark and it's not full of bright, shiny, ridiculous things. If you look at the shoulders, there's that smoke, which is really cool looking, and overall the flow of the metal and the lines and the curves of this armor just looks really sleek and evil, definitely something that suits some of the Rogue specs. I mean, hell, just looking at this and their recent tier gear, I think Rogues have got it really good lately. And then the Elite PvP set is pretty much the same thing, but with slightly different colors. So overall, what do I think about the gear that we're getting in Legion? Well, first, it's very early, more stuff will be added, and some sets do have things missing. There are 1 or 2 sets which just have things missing to the point where I've not included them in this video because there's no point. There's nothing really to see. Now, my impressions are really quite strong overall. There are a few duds, yes, but at least most of the sets have got some interesting elements, lots of great options for transmog, and then some really standout sets. I can see why they included the Warlock and the Rogue sets in the press kit though. Based off first impressions, I think they are some of the best looking sets for their classes, bar none. That is based on first impressions, yes, but I just look at them, I think they are really cool bits of gear. So that's pretty much it for me for now. Let me know either on Twitter or down in the comments what you think of this initial slew of Legion gear. I'm kind of interested to see what people's thoughts are after the, I think, mostly negative reception to the most recent tier. At least for most of the classes anyway. So I'm interested to see what that is, but That's it for me, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.